Hello, Audioholics. This is Logan, and welcome back to Rolling Drones, where we go over the Rolling Stones' top 100 metal albums of all time and rearrange them because, quite honestly, they should be rearranged. So, today we are going to be doing Manowar. Hail to England. And speaking of things that we probably should not hail to, here is Tyler.
You might be wondering why I'm making this terrible stank face. It's because I have to talk about this shitty fucking band. I fucking hated this album, guys. We'll get to why. Do you want to go first since you liked it more?
I guess I can.
Yeah, go first.
All right. Yeah, I like it. I'd say it has, first of all, it has amazing vocals. That's something that is.
Boo. Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
It has amazing vocals. It's so operatic. Okay, even though you don't like Manowar, you have to at least like the vocal style.
But Messiah's too operatic for you, and you hate him.
I never said I hate Messiah.
Yeah, you said he's too operatic. You don't like him.
I never said that.
You have said that. Not on camera, but you have.
I have not said that. I
don't listen to him. He changes his opinions every 10 seconds.
Admittedly, I don't. Messiah is not my favorite singer for Candlemass. What was that one Candlemass song you sent me that was like thrashy? I kind of liked that one, and it had like a different vocalist. But
yeah, that's a pretty good one.
Yeah, but I don't know. I would say Messiah is probably my least favorite vocalist for Candlemass. I don't.
Manowar, their operatic vocals are so good.
I would say the difference is Manowar has a little bit more texture and is also able to do more high end. I'd say is sort of my. Messiah does not have much high end.
Bullshit.
It's more in a lower register, and I think that maybe is what might have turned me off at first. But I can't say that I hate Messiah. He's not my favorite. I don't hate Messiah, though.
Okay, so you like the vocals on this album.
Yes.
What else is there?
All
right, well, now that his section is done.
No, fuck off. Yeah, but the overall structure is really good. I'd say the instruments, while technically impressive, do not really do anything all that memorable, with the lyrics and the vocals taking the center stage. A ton of
kind of like how colon cancer takes center stage, even if you may have like IBS.
How the fuck do I mute him? I think this is it. All right.
Wrong.
So,
wrong trademark. Shut up, you dirty hombre.
I'm sorry, is this a Trump debate? Because
all right. Go on and I won't interrupt you again, I swear.
Yeah, but there's a lot of good anthemic metal on this. Overall, it's not bad if you turn your mind off and have a strong tolerance to this kind of 80s cheese. But I guess if you do, I can understand why that doesn't work. It's just like, I don't understand how somebody could not like Maiden or could like Maiden or Rhapsody or what was the band that I just got done talking about and I just fucking forgot? Dragon Force.
Candlemass?
Dragon Force.
Okay.
I don't understand how people can like groups like that or can like groups like that and not like Manowar. Are they as good? No, probably not. I would not at least call this album top shelf power metal. but I think it at least deserves a C, and I would say that it is better than uh, Fallen by Innocence and not as good as Images and Words by Dream Theater. Tyler, the floor is all yours.
Well, don't you want to talk about your essential tracks first?
Oh yeah, that's right. All right, so essential tracks, Kill with Power, just thundering. It sounds like, honestly, if you did not tell me, if you played this song and didn't tell me who it was, I would have thought it was a Priest song. And guys, you know how much I love Judas Priest. Army of Immortals, very good kind of anthemic. Like, kind of like, it's sort of like The Trooper in terms of sort of like anthemic. Like, it's a song made specifically to be sung at a concert.
Run to the hills.
or yeah, Run to the Hills.
Run to the hills.
And then Bridge of Death is the epic at the end of the album. And even Tyler, I think, said he kind of likes this one.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Weakest track. At least you admitted the weakest track is Black Arrows.
Yeah, and look, this is just a note to all bands. Stop doing these extended guitar solos on studio albums. If you're going to, well, don't do it live either, because quite honestly, it's boring as shit. But if you're going to do it, at least just save it for live performances. Do it for like when you, like, this is why fucking Bucks Boogie from Blue Oyster Cult was not on an official studio album. I mean, yeah, it was on that re-recordings album, but
that doesn't count.
That doesn't count necessarily. It just, it's the same, and I have the same like criticism with Metallica, like Pulling Teeth or Orion.
Oh, come on, Orion is amazing though.
It's good, but it still is the weakest track on the album. Because it's just like, okay, instrumentals have a place if they have some kind of structure. If you're just kind of improvising, that can be good in a live setting.
Orion doesn't have a structure. There's like a very clear verse chorus structure to that instrumental.
Oh, then I don't know. Maybe I don't remember it that much. But like, just a general rule, if a song doesn't have structure, I don't think it should be on an album that contains songs that for the most part do.
Yeah.
That's kind of my problem with things like Pulling Teeth. That's good. That can be good in a live setting because then then you can do something sort of like, Blue Oyster Cult, where you can kind of improvise and, no two live performances are exactly the same. But when it's on a studio album, it just, it's just not very good. And yeah, it's an intro track problem technically, but it goes on too long to be an intro track. So that's really, so my bottom line is this. Is it flawed? Oh, hell yes, definitely. But I think it deserves credit where credit is due. There are some good songs on it. There are some really powerful anthemic songs on it that are good for like War Pigs or Paranoid, songs that you can like fist bump to, you can like wave in a concert. So without further ado, fuck, here goes nothing.
All right, so now that he's spent half of the video defending the hell out of it, let me just take a giant fucking shit on the terribleness that is this album. So just let me get this out of the way. I don't like Manowar. I've never liked Manowar. I think Manowar is just a bunch of fucking terrible musicians that
Have you
get
listened
together
to other
and make
albums
rock.
besides this, though?
I've listened to songs from other albums.
Okay.
This is the first Manowar album I've listened to the entire way through, and honestly, I don't feel like listening to another one the whole way through after hearing this one. But let me get to why. First of all, I hate the fucking vocals. The vocals are generic. The vocals are boring. You can get exactly what this guy does from 15 other bands.
Yeah, and all
And
those
those
15
other bands do it better.
Yeah, and all those 15 other bands are good. Like, if you're ripping off a good thing and doing it well, then
Okay, but he
I see
doesn't do
nothing
it well.
wrong.
He's terrible.
Yes, he does. It's operatic. All right, fine.
Okay, so it doesn't make it good. I find the riffs on this album to be boring.
Okay, I'll agree with you there.
The riffs are boring. They're repetitive. They are what the fuck was he even doing with the guitar on this album? The tone is dog shit. What, an actual guitar player made that tone. I don't fucking believe it. I think the producer came in and fucked with the amp settings 10 minutes before recording. Because there is no way a real guitar player would listen to that and think it's a good sound. I'm going to
interrupt for 1 second. So we did listen to it on YouTube, and YouTube does have a tendency to compress audio.
That's true.
So I don't know. I
feel like the tone would be the same.
Yeah, the tone would probably be the same, but the actual production, I'm not sure if the production is supposed to be better or worse. My guess is it's still probably not that great.
Yeah, that's what I think too, and I will talk about that a little bit. So the drumming on this album, okay, fine. The drumming is pretty decent. But it really doesn't help that the bass player sucks ass. And the mixing is really just garbage. The production isn't great either, but that could be because of YouTube. The mix is not because of YouTube. The mix sucks. What the fuck? Who engineered this album? I want to know. That dude should be fired. Again, the guitar tone is dog shit. It is completely terrible, this album. And it ruins even half of the decent riffs that are there. I feel like the songwriting is the worst fucking part. Have any of these people actually written songs before? Because it doesn't feel like it when you're listening to this album. It feels like a bunch of 10-year-old elementary schoolers wrote these fucking songs. Because the composition and structure is just terrible. It's really bad. The whole album is just really below average. Except for Black Arrows, which is really just especially bad as hell. I can't believe they thought that was good and put it on an album. I mean, irregardless of whether you like instrumentals or not, it's terrible. It hurt my fucking ears to listen to this fucking song. And listen, this is up to this point, this is me being entirely objective. Personally, I hated everything about this album, and I would throw it in the fucking garbage bin. Bridge of Death is the only song that I thought was a good song. I'm not even going to say it's a great song. I said it's a great song in my notes. I take that back. It's not even a great song. It's a good song. It just feels great because the rest of the album sucks so much. But I have to ask, where the fuck was this for the rest of the album? There's actually good composition on Bridge of Death. There's good songwriting, good lyrics. What happened with the other songs? What happened with, what was it called? Kill with Fire? I Hate My Enemies?
Kill with Power.
Blood of My Enemies.
Blood of My Enemies. That's a good song.
I don't understand. It's just not up to snuff. And as I say that, as much as I'm shitting on this album, objectively, it's really not a truly terrible record. I've heard worse. The Shags, Lulu, I wouldn't put it on that level. I wouldn't even put it on the same level as Puddle of Mud, or Limp Bizkit. But like, it's just compared to the rest of the albums on this list, even the ones that were at the bottom of the barrel, like Deaf Heaven, this is just blatantly the worst. This doesn't even belong in the same dimension as the other albums. And if this were a podcast, I wouldn't rate it above a 4 out of 10. So the only essential track here is Bridge of Death. As for the weakest track, fucking throw a dart. I don't care. Any other song on the album. But I guess if I had to pick one, it would definitely be Blackest Arrows or whatever.
Black Arrows.
Black Arrows. I really hated this album, guys, and I'm actually putting it in F below whatever album I have there already, Deaf Heaven.
Sunbather?
Yeah. And like I said before recording, like, if I had the ability, I would make a separate tier just called Dog Shit for this album alone. I really fucking hated this album. And I listened to it twice. You can't even say I didn't try to like it. I listened to it twice. And he's making me listen to it again after this video. So if my opinion changes,
I didn't think you were actually going to do it. Okay.
I will do it. If my opinion changes after that third listen, on the next episode, I will come back and I will change my rating, and I'll say everything I said in the last video was just dog shit. Don't listen to it. But I doubt that's going to happen. So
I'm not expecting you to love it. Like there is not, okay, I'm going to say this. There is absolutely no universe where this is an S-rated album. But
no.
There's absolutely no universe. But I think like I think if you listen to it and take and go into it with an open mind, I think you might at least, I think you should at least put it maybe below Fallen by Evanescence in the D category.
We'll see. If I can see something of value in the other songs, then maybe. I honestly still don't want to listen to Black Arrows again, though. I'll probably.
Did you see like anything of value in Death Heaven though? Like,
at least I can see why people would like that. I don't even understand why there are people who think this is a good album.
Because
even if you like it, you can't put it above a 6 out of 10. Not in good mental standing.
I mean, the way that I see it is if I were to listen to, if I want to listen to Manowar again, I actually thought about getting it on vinyl just for the album art alone.
It does have good album art. I'll give it that.
And also just because like it's one of those that like I feel like would probably benefit from an analog sound.
And repeat listens.
Probably. And repeat listen, yeah.
Because I'll admit I hated it way more. If you can believe that, I hated it way more the first time I heard it.
All right, so yeah, stay tuned for that. If he has any change of heart, which I hope he does, because it's a fucking amazing album. If that happens, stay tuned and you'll be the first to know. Do you have any more thoughts about this masterpiece?
All I'll say is that, like, if you were to judge this album on its own merits and you don't consider the rest of this list and you don't consider other bands that are within this genre, then I could understand somebody enjoying it and thinking it's good. But my thoughts are always, if I listen to one band in a genre and there are 15 other bands that do everything that band does better than that band, there's nothing I need to go to this band for, then why should I listen to it? And that's really why I don't like this album when I come down to it, when I'm being completely serious and not hyperbolic. Everything Manowar does, other bands have done way fucking better, even before they did it. When did this album come out? 83?
I actually don't know.
Something like that?
There are sometime in the 80s.
Came out in the 70s that did everything this album did.
Look, I will say, yeah, so I'll agree with you there. I don't like to compare other albums to other albums. I think that if an album is enjoyable to me, then it stands on its own as a good album. That's how I see it. And I think that Manowar was enjoyable to me. I think it had some good anthems. And I think that the vocals were really good. And I think some riffs were okay, but that's not really I don't think that's really the structure. I think the vocals and the lyrics stand out so much that it makes up for the lackluster everything else. So that's it for this episode of Rolling Drones. Join us next time when we get into As the Palaces Burn by Lamb of God. I'm kind of mixed on how to feel about this one. Bye, y'all.